Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through the industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Victoria Noethling, speaker, trainer, coach, and podcast host, and she has spent over 40 years in the corporate world before retiring in 2018, and now her mission is to have to help entrepreneurs have greater impact by improving their in-person and online delivery of their message. Welcome to the show, Vicky.
Thank you, AJ. It's so good to be here with you.
You are welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to India. And I'm sure not just in India, but in many places, people will be able to, especially entrepreneurs, will be able to make use of the information, the learning that you are going to impart in the next 15-20 minutes or so. So we'll be talking about, as this says, mastering message delivery for entrepreneurial success. So first to understand, Vicky, is that, you talk about entrepreneurs. So an entrepreneur's job is not that easy in terms of they have to be leaders, they have to be thinkers, they have to be visionary, they have to be salesperson, they have to be a lot many other things. And amidst all these things, and amidst all these things, when they are leading their team or doing whatever, even leadership in terms of any other companies, whether it's a CEO, CFO, marketing head, you talk about leading with your heart, head, and hands. What does it exactly mean? And what does it mean for an entrepreneur today?
I have been in business for a long time. And when I came up in the ranks of leadership, I was taught by many men. And the thing was that you were very strategic always. And you didn't really, you went to a job and to do the job, but you didn't necessarily go there to make friends or to be with your people. And the thing that was missing in all that, and what I sort of discovered after I graduated from college at 50, was that everything that I was feeling in my gut to be able to lead people was more effective than being that tough person who was disjointed or not really aligned with the people. And your business, no matter how large it is or how small it is all around the people. And so you have to get to know your people to know what motivates them, what their needs are, to be able to understand how to lead them. So you have to first lead with the heart. Once you know the people's needs, what motivates them, what inspires them, what will make them do 130%, then you lead strategically with your head, and you be able to address their needs. And this is not only for your people, but also your customers. So when you talk to your customers, you first have to see what are their needs. Again, leading from the heart, listening, understanding, and then taking what you've just learned and putting together what they will need as a solution to their pain, to their problem. Again, using the head. And then, as always, as a great leader, you have to use your hands as a servant leader. How can I help you? Even before you help me, how can I help you? And so that's what leading with your heart, your head, and your hands is.
Right, Vicky. So in today's situation, if you see, the missing things that we can see today is that there is a dearth of genuine leadership. People are talking about that. In terms of entrepreneurship, the entrepreneur or individual is very much focused on the bottom lines. They have to make sure that, either their money or investor money is protected. And when we talk of leadership, we also have to talk about the great resignation and quiet quitting. And also at the same time, toxicity at workplaces. So a lot of things seem to be not in a good situation as we are all trying to come out of COVID. So what is the problem here? Is it that they are not using their heart? Is it that they are not using their head? Is it that they are not leading from the front? Why is this crisis? Is it a crisis of confidence that others are not having confidence in them, or is it that leaders themselves are missing? And a lot of entrepreneurs also are not having that much of confidence in themselves, in their vision, in their mission, and rather they are chasing things that in terms of data, in terms of numbers, to show it to the world. A lot of leaders are now facing even imposter syndrome. So how
Yeah.
do we again look at this aspect of leadership, entrepreneurship, because the definition of success again, seems to have gone a different way than perhaps it was in the earlier days.
I think part of it is, and there is a great lack of confidence because there's a lot of uncertainty in the world as we're coming out of the pandemic. And it really is that fear of, well, I've got to make the numbers work. People don't leave, though, companies. People leave their leaders. And so it is more important than ever that leaders understand what their people need, and they are more understanding of how to give the people those needs. If you want your company to rejuvenate, to really re-energize, you have to re-energize your people. You need your people. A lot of cases, you have less people doing jobs than you had before. So now those people that you have having to do those jobs have to work twice as hard. And that could cause them to be burned out or drained out. And so what you need to do is find out how can you really make them see how what they do is so aligned with the vision and the mission of the company. If I know that what I do from 9 to 5 or whatever it is, the hours of your day, are directly impacting the bottom line, then I'm going to work harder for that because now I have ownership of it. But if I feel that I'm unappreciated, that I just am a person that comes in and fills a checkbox, I won't give you my all. And that is where we have to forget about somewhat the bottom line and find out what is it that our customers are asking for that we can give them, and can we demonstrate that we understand that need, and what is it that the people that are making it possible for me to give what our customers want feel appreciated, feel understood, and feel that they are part of this situation, part of the solution to the problem that everyone is feeling. I will be excited to go to work every day if I know that I'm going to be part of a success. I was a project manager for many, many years. And the thing that made me want to do that job was that I knew that my effort and the effort of my team was going to make a new product, a new service, and that I was part of the legacy of the company. But if you don't feel that, then you just aren't going to give the company anything. And you will go from company to company, whoever has the best offer. But people don't always leave for money. People
Right.
stay because they feel appreciated. And that's why the leaders today have to do the work. And it is work. It is not, oh, I'm a boss now. I can come in and just sit in my office with the door closed. I need to get to know my people, and I need to demonstrate and lead my managers under me to do the same. And that's where the revolution will happen.
Right, right, Vicky, and that is where the challenge is, because uh, there are many young entrepreneurs, many small businesses, and they have this challenge of uh, tackling or dealing with the people they are working with. Either it's their employees, their vendors, their clients, and that is where they need to be connected with them, and not in technology terms, but in terms of that human
Mm,
spirit. And there is, we talk about the lack of EQ. A lot of them have
yeah,
IQ, but there is not less of
yeah,
EQ and empathy. And that is where again the importance of message delivery comes in. And that is what
absolutely.
your mission is. So how
Mhm.
can entrepreneurs, how can small businesses, people who have a good IQ but perhaps are not spending enough time or get enough time to focus on the human aspect of everything, how can they make sure that their They are very good people. A lot of them are very good people. They have good intentions in mind. Their product is good, service is good, and they actually want to be, but somehow it is not coming out. So how can they make sure that they master their message delivery, and so that the message in real form, in human form, comes down to all their stakeholders? How can it work out?
When I teach public speaking and training of leaders, I talk about the fact that any talk you give, even this type of podcast, it's a conversation. If you forget about it as a pitch, as a presentation, as a list of facts and figures and statistics, and bring in the human element, it's a conversation. When I have a conversation, I am listening to you and you're responding. I'm listening to what you respond. That back and forth is what makes it the difference, all the difference. Everything you do, you need to be developing a better conversational tactic, if you will. The tone of what you say makes a difference in what you say. You can say something 5 different ways and have different reaction to each way you say it. And so many times a leader will come in and they have a mission and they're focused on what that mission is. And they're just, saying, this is what we have to do. And how are you going to do it? And they don't take time to be able to give that give and take of not what are you going to do, but what are we going to do together? And now you open the conversation up to the person that you're working with or the team and say, this is our situation. This is the problem. Give us the ideas. You cannot be the smartest person in the room. If you are, your company is going to die. You have to hire good people. You have to hire A players. You have to have people that want to be more than they are today. If you have people that are just there for the paycheck, you need to leave or let them go and find people that want more for themselves. When you want more, you will get more. And that is something that a lot of companies are afraid to do. They need that seat filled and they don't care who fills it. But as soon as you do that, then you're allowing yourself to have people that will bring your company down. Seek people who want to be more. As administrative assistant, I worked for the CIO of a very large company. And he saw more in me than I saw in myself. And you talked earlier about self-sabotage and low self-esteem. Well, you need, as a leader, to look. Your radar for A players needs to be always on. From the time you hire them, sit down for that first initial conversation, you need to be thinking, asking the questions. This is your job. This is the description of your job. And this is where you could go with that job and see how they get excited. If they don't, they may not be the right person for that job. So you want to be sure that as you go through your day-to-day operations with your various employees and leaders, your team, asking that question, allowing them to demonstrate that they see more in themselves than they really are doing today. That excites them to do more. Not everybody wants to be the CIO. Not everybody wants to be a manager, but you need to recognize that and have in your company the stairway or the ladder for them to do more, but not necessarily only go to leadership. We put far too many leaders into leadership because they need a bigger paycheck.
Right.
But a bigger paycheck is not going to always give you what you need. So it's internal, like for all of us, we have to look in the mirror and say, what do I want? I never thought when I started way back when in the 70s that I was going to be doing this. But each time as I grew and got more training and personal development, I realized the great opportunities that I had. And I just said yes. How many of us are afraid to say yes? So you have to have a conversation, be conversational. You have to have exude the passion and the power that you feel in the job that you have. Be okay with failing. I have failed big time, lots of times, but I learned from it. And from that, I grew. You cannot grow unless you fail. You can't. You just stay flat. You need people in your companies that want to grow. And you need to give them the vehicles, the opportunities to grow. So that means you can't cut out training, especially in this time we are in now, where you have so many of the people in the workforce that don't know what the heck they're doing because they're just new. And
Right.
each time you enter a new job, a new workforce, it's all a new challenge. And training has to be there. Mentorship has to be there. And that all ties back to leading with your heart and your head. So, strategically, what do I need to do in my company to make it stronger, to attract the A players? And when I interview, listen for the people that want to grow.
Absolutely, absolutely. You put it very, very nicely, Vicky. And you see, there is so much to learn from you. And this is just one podcast, 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But the more they have, more whoever wants to learn from you, they will have to come to you. And you have your coaching, you have your training, what they can connect you for that. So how do people do that? And also you have the podcast, Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. So tell us about that, so that people can get to hear more of you,
Yeah.
more of your expertise, and especially entrepreneurs who are very young, who have started on this journey of entrepreneurship.
The Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast is designed to connect people. There are a lot of influencers out there, and I really think of myself as a connector. You have a problem, and sometimes you don't even know you have the problem. So you listen to the various guests that I have on my podcast, and they deal from anywhere from dealing with anxiety and self-help and self-care to how to be more impactful on LinkedIn and how to be a better marketer and how to make your conversation more impactful, engaging. All of these people, 30 minutes of your day will help you grow. And that's if your company's not giving you personal development, at least you can get it from things like our podcast. So the podcast, I have 150 out there now, and every day I do more. So it's just my way of bringing to you solutions in a more easy to digest way. My courses that I have are 6 weeks, giving you some insight, and all of that can be found what works best for you by just going to my website and booking 30 minutes with me.
Absolutely. Courses on a coaching program, including a mastermind, year-long
Yeah,
mastermind,
1 year.
1 year.
And
So,
and and the thing that I learned is, I've been in business for a long time, and you get to that attitude, well, I know what to do. You need to surround yourself with people that have worn the t-shirt. You need to have the people that have fallen and got back up. That society, that team, that community makes you be able to flourish and scale. And so a coach, there are a lot of us out there. Find the person that you connect with, that you want to spend time with each week for a year, and you will grow. The thing that I love is that, especially, whenever you work with me, you have pitches, you have presentations, and nobody tells you, did that land? Did I do a good job on that video? And that's part of what I give in your coaching is we go through and I evaluate it and we tweak and we make you better. And that's the whole thing. I want you to be able to go to that next meeting and the person be wowed. I want you to go to that next presentation in your office and have that person say, what? There's something different about them. And all of that is only comes from having a good mentor and a coach.
wonderful. So, what's the best way for, especially for people who want to connect with you for business in terms of getting coaching and joining a program, what's the best way to connect with you?
So you want to go to www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. On that website, you can see my podcast, but you also can have connect with me, whether you want to be on my podcast, whether you want to learn more about the coaching and have a 30-minute initial conversation, or maybe you just want me to check out your setup for your next video. All of that I can do in that 30-minute session.
Great. On this note, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, KJ, or AJ, so sorry.